welcome back to Desolation. My name is Lawrence,
And I have a vanilla scented candle back there, William.
and this is Substandard Roleplaying. And here
Okay.
we're with Casey
Hi, I'm Casey from the Questing GM.
and Dave.
Hello, I am Dave. I am Job from a Taurus Twitch stream.
Twitch.tv/Taurus.
And
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
you'll find the links in the description below. Last time we played, I guess we made a couple of goofs, and Casey's going to go over that right now, actually.
All right.
Listen and learn.
So I'm not really like pointing out like, you did this wrong sort of thing, just to point out the mistakes. But, just as part of the stream, I think it would be beneficial for everyone to just learn, know the mistakes that we make so that you can learn from them and, find out where the answers are. So in last session, one of our biggest goofs was allowing taking average for spellcasting, and that is actually not allowed according to Desolation.
We
If
also
you
got a
look-
YouTube comment about that.
I would think that
Did
would
we?
be the most
What?
obvious
He was
one.
like, I'm enjoying this. It's fun to listen to. However, at 48 minutes, I was like, oh, okay, here it comes.
That's good, but that means that's what you want. You want interaction. So
Well,
that's
yeah,
okay.
it
Yeah,
was
and
awesome
that's why
that he
we
was
are-
listening. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's why
Thank
we're
you.
admitting that.
And that's why
So,
we're apologizing.
So at page 135, it says that the player cannot take the average when casting because of the instability of the weave, count the number of successes and the number of failures, which means every failure equal to the number of burn damage being taken. But a
Mhm.
follow-up to that, I think there was a question that Maximus posed to that, is that because you have a magic skill and you have a certain rating, that is the maximum, that's your dice pool. But given how dangerous spellcasting can be, are you forced to use up your maximum dice pool? You must use all the dice in the dice pool to cast magic. In Desolation, or at least according to the rules, the magic skill is the only exception where you can actually not use up your entire dice pool. You can choose the number of dice that you have. And that rule is found on page 166. For all actions but spellcasting, a larger dice pool is always beneficial because spellcasting penalizes failure via burn. The caster has the option to decide how many dice from his maximum dice pool he will roll to cast a spell.
That makes sense
Okay.
too, actually.
Yeah, imagine if Dave had to roll 10 every time.
Right,
He would
he
literally
would
just kill himself.
he would literally die basically
I
the
would
first
burn
time
away.
he
I mean,
rolled.
Yeah.
probably still likely to do it. Yeah. I will
I would-
say
You need two
well, no.
successes. I'm gonna roll all 10 dice.
I would like to clean this water. That is one die, sir. I am now dead.
worth it.
He just dissolves into the puddle.
So yeah, that
Himself.
makes sense. I can
Yeah.
understand not taking the average for magic. That makes sense as well, actually, now that I think about it. But
Well,
yeah,
even when we were doing it, I was like looking at the rules and I'm like, based on my skill, I
Yeah.
should be able to just give it I taking the average and succeed on a very hard spell. And I'm like, this doesn't seem right. But I didn't want to like kill the flow of the game and asking and looking
Yeah.
digging around.
Like, especially like in combat. I hate combat's already like slow enough in every single role-playing game. So I didn't want to skim the rules or like
Right.
interrupt my train of thought to skim. So
Yeah,
I
so
just
you up the
scaled it.
difficulty.
I just scaled it going, okay, fuck it, fine. We're going in orders of magnitude now in spellcasting.
Absolutely. And I was just trying to do more minimalistic things because I looked at it, I'm like, this doesn't make sense for me to be able to like summon a being of energy to take it. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. So
You're
I
like
just,
the only spellcaster not affected by the Night of Fire.
I know, right? So I just kept it as like gusts and little things to test things out. Tried to keep it role playing, you know?
Yeah.
but I will say, I mean, ultimately it is Taffy's call. I mean, he could actually make this like magic. You can take the average if you want to. He's the
Yeah,
GM.
but that destroys the integrity of the game. I
Aw.
feel like there is a fine line between like rules as written and trying to have fun.
Mhm.
I hate rules as written for some games, like the cursed game that I will not mention, that has absolute crap ruling and writing that leads to so many people getting very anal and offended when you mess it up.
Yeah,
So
that's why house rules are a thing, but they
Right.
have to be done properly. So
And God forbid you try to improv a house rule because you think it's really cool and fun.
Yep. Because your players, aka me, will find a way to
Or
exploit
just
that.
one guy decides he doesn't like that create water can be done in the lungs.
Yeah, exactly.
Rules is
Jesus.
written. It says any open container. The lungs
Mhm.
are a container.
They are.
I
like it.
mean, each their own, but still.
Anyway, Casey, anything else that we messed up on that you want to talk
Yeah,
about?
just one more rule. This is something that I think I brought up about teamwork. When you're trying to assist someone, you actually give them a +2 to their dice roll. However, there is a condition to that. So the condition is the one who is assisting has to have the same skill that is being assisted, and that skill rating has to be above 4 or higher, and that's found on page 76. When working as a team, characters with the same skill can help one another. For every extra person helping with a task with a skill rating of 4 or higher, a +2 is given up to a maximum of +10. The
Hmm.
character with the higher skill rating receives the bonus and makes the roll.
Okay.
So those are the things that we did wrong. There were
Yeah.
a few other things that we didn't do wrong per se, but it was probably, there were a bit more going on behind that, but I won't get into those rules because we didn't make a mistake. We didn't make a boo-boo.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's substandard role playing, so I mean, this is what we are. We'll
Absolutely.
we'll figure it
I
out
mean,
as
you
we go
wouldn't have had
along,
me.
and
You wouldn't
we'll
have had me on otherwise. I mean,
and we'll
Um,
fix our mistakes as we go along. That's
yeah. So
what
I will.
life
I will
is.
say, yeah. And as part of that kind of learning, in my character creation, I did not spend my experience points that we received. So I have that's kind of. I wanted to see if I was missing something, which I was with spellcasting. So I will spend my 15 experience points to acquire or study or whatever you want to call it into learning burn reduction, as this will now become very important for me.
Oh yeah, you'll probably want that.
Yeah, ignore 1 point of burn. Given how I rolled last time, it won't matter anyway. But
Well,
Hell.
hopefully that'll keep you alive, man.
I'm at 1.
That will make spellcasting very interesting now.
Well, and that's good, right? That's the one reason I took this like a spellcaster, is because I knew it was a different. I liked playing a wizard in the unspoken rule set, but I just like the challenge of it. I like the challenge of trying to role play around it and stuff. So
Well, it's also how it rolled last time was almost law friendly anyway, because I said that we felt tighter and weird here, so
true.
we can excuse it like that.
Cool.
We made no mistakes. It was how it was meant to be.
Mhm. You ready? Let's get started then.
Okay. Last time you were in that temple thing.
Yeah, we slept at the temple. I believe you said it's 40 more kilometers to the settlement that we're trying to get to, right?
This is correct.
So we decided to rest up for the night there.
Yeah. Because 40 kilometers is no joke to try and travel. Because I
Especially in the
think
desert.
horses in a day can walk like 50 miles on a good trail. So it would take you literally an entire day of walking.
Right.
On horseback to get there. But you don't have horses.
No, we left them, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for you now, on the cold hard ground, the light is starting to shine through all the boarded up windows, and the sun has come up. And it is as quiet as ever in this area of the desert right now. For your preparation to continue, how are you going to deal with the direct sunlight?
I will cast giant umbrella. No, I'm just kidding.
I believe we did bring, like, we were worried of the scalding rain, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
And I
Yep.
thought we brought canvas, did we not?
you did.
So the canvas would work to provide some shade, would it not?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We could find sticks and tie them to sticks and hold them up, or we could just hold up kind of a corner each and stand kind of underneath it, or
Like a walking gazebo.
I mean, we could just hold up a piece ourselves too, whatever works.
Can make up canvas ponchos.
I mean, if it says we're probably gonna have to walk as much as we can, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
In the morning. Probably we probably want to leave before the actual sun totally comes up. Like
Yeah.
Sure.
it should still be like just a little bit before dawn, I'm guessing.
Yeah, like in that pre-crack of dawn twilight kind of thing
Right.
going
That's when we
Yeah.
should get ready and be ready to set off at that time.
on. Sure.
And then when it's like noon, when the sun is highest in the sky, we should just rest. We should not be walking during that time, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we could set up like
Yeah.
just an angled canvas towards the sun and just sit in the shade and try to keep cool.
Especially if there's no ruins or nothing else that can provide shelter.
Yeah. And I mean, if we're lucky, it'll rain acid rain to cool us off. Oh, no, never mind.
It could cool
boiling
you off.
hot rain to cool us. What?
Yeah.
Has Grom made this trip before?
Grum has made the trip before.
So would he be able to point us? Are there any ruins, shelter, anything along the way
He
from this
says
point to the settlement itself?
what he did for himself was he actually dug like underground and like against rocks. So
That's smart.
because there's like no like hanging over like big rocks with shadows. So it'd like dig under the rock and then hang out under there.
That's actually smart because the geothermal will kind of help like average out the temperature, so it'll be cooler under there.
Yeah. So how
That's
he
the
survived
same.
was by
Yeah.
digging down underneath. And sometimes he managed to find food in the form of grubs.
Great.
I mean, that's bed and breakfast right there, guys.
Yeah.
I believe we still have the was
4
it
star.
the cat meat from the
Oh,
previous fight?
yes. Your cat meat. Your 2 days worth of cat meat.
Yeah, I did say that this is food now.
It
so
is
it's,
food.
Yeah. Well, just next
And
time it rains,
you
we'll
still
just go
have
ahead.
your 3 or 4 days worth of water from sitting filling up at Grum's place.
Yeah, which was a very good idea.
Mhm.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna set out at dawn, and since Grom has made this trip before, he will be pointing out the way, I think.
Okay.
And it's in his
Whether he
best
likes it or not.
interest. No, it's
Yeah.
in his best interest to do it properly because,
Yes, it is.
like, if he takes
He
us
should be in
astray,
front.
he will also die from the heat and exhaustion,
And
right? So
he might receive an arrow in his back for his troubles anyway.
that's also possible.
Right, so Grum, you can tell half of it is he's an expert and done this before, and half of it's just making shit up as he goes along, just to try and impress you. He's quite boastful about it, and he promises that salvation is near because there's a road about halfway there that you can take.
Hmm.
There's an ancient crossroads that would be halfway there. You're not going to make it there today. But is there anything you would like to do on your walk? Any kind of foraging, any kind of...
Is there anything to forage? Like, it just looks like empty
Yeah.
desert, does it not? At least that's what I'm
Right.
imagining in my head. Just
Yeah.
empty desert.
Right, so it's been extreme desert pretty much the whole time.
Well, if we start to get into like, I'll keep my eyes open. I'll keep my eyes open for any sort of vegetation as per our traveling companion, who is being very quiet this session, in case he needs any healing, bandages in the form of leaves. So I'll keep my eyes open for it. And just to kind of pull things together, I'll say that I'm kind of perusing a book while we walk,
Sure.
learning how to minimize the effects of tapping into the weave. I'll say that I felt like while it might have seemed easy, I felt a pull that was helping me from the world, and a couple times I felt like my soul kind of like I don't know how else to describe it. My it was a burn on my soul, or a singe on my soul. So I dug around and found one of my journals that has some notes on it. So I'll be reading that to try to be able to, one might say, reduce the burn.
Mm-hmm. Glad noises. Da-da-da. Okay, so it's going to be fast forward adventuring time. The day is going to pass with what doesn't seem like too much progress. There's very few landmarks along the way for you to travel. Grum delivers on his hidey hole. He digs with the mad efficiency of a dog. You imagine
Good
like
boy.
a dog getting excited or something. Dude digs like a machine.
Good
Will,
He
of
didn't.
course,
He did enlist the help of the brute.
me. That's what you're saying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You do have the biceps.
The brute.
The
Yeah,
brute.
I mean, and then everybody else can perhaps create some shade using the canvas as well. I mean, if we're next to a rock, we might as well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
making like
absolutely.
a lean-to.
Mhm.
In this moment, with your free time hanging out in the shade, you hear a screeching of something avian in the distance.
I knew it. Eventually, something from the sky was
Bird
going to
of
swoop
prey.
down. And
A vulture.
This
I've
bird
been
of prey
calling
is
this since session 1. It's
this
when I-
bird of prey is back.
A scavenging vulture.
But then
That
you
makes
hear
sense.
another one in reply.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mating
And-
ritual.
Did we
Hmm?
spot? Yeah, mating
did we
ritual.
spot it?
Do we spot where
Uh,
they're like? Are they actually coming towards us, or can we tell if it's actually like getting closer, or if we're just approaching a chatterbox bunch?
You can roll to figure that out.
Okay.
You can
that would
do
be
some
Perception?
percepting.
Perception. Okay, well, I don't actually have that skill. I mean, I could roll, but I don't think I can.
No,
even
you have
roll
a.
if I don't
It's
have
a
it.
No, just
secondary
everyone has
attribute.
it.
Everybody
Oh, that's
has
the
it.
secondary. Yes, right.
You have
My
maths
apologies.
related to it.
Yes, in that case, I have 9. So that's
Holy crap! You have 9. Okay.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Well, here's my roll. I see nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I actually don't even have the dice roller open.
I didn't even hear the
I have-
speeches.
I got 6.
Oh my.
I heard that one of them has like a baby bird like incubating inside of it, and it's only a week and a half old.
You can
because that's
hear
how
the
well I
color
hear.
of the feathers get you.
I hear colors, man. Yeah, perception's like the one thing I'm good at.
Yep.
Okay, so looking at these. So Maximus and Cages heard it. You recognize that it's an avian calling out, but not much further than that. Our learned scholar, Kane, has he's actually able to take an estimated guess as to where they've come from. They're not in the same place. Like he figures out one is closer in the direction you're going, and one is way further away.
In the direction we're going as well, like so past or
Yeah, further past.
guys, my keen hearing. I'm pretty sure we have. There's a couple of them, yeah, and one's coming up. We're going to be approaching it, but then the other one is like same direction, but it's It's a lot further down, so we'll have to keep our eyes open. I don't think they're approaching, but we don't want to enter into their territory without and startling them. We'll have to be careful.
You know what they
Oh.
are, Kane.
Yes, they're birds.
Birds. That means we are near to a city.
Oh, well, then there's no
That
reason
means
to
we
be
are near
scared.
to
or-
trees now. We are
That's
near
not a
to
problem.
Civilization and life.
I don't know. What would I know what they are? I don't have like.
I can send
You
you
know.
a Discord message.
Oh, sure. If I would know, sure.
Yeah.
So,
That's always a
I-
weird game of broken telephone you play in role-playing games. They
No,
sound
but-
like this. It's like, oh,
but
guys,
that's-
they sound like this.
No, see, this is the one thing I like about playing virtually is the messages, because then I can role play with this, and so yeah, it sounds like they sound like they're decent size. My guess would be they were some sort of a scavenger. Like they sound like there's a squawk and everything. It sounds familiar to other scavengers that I've seen across the wasteland. So I don't know for sure, but I think it's some sort of a
like a
I don't know, like a vulture or any sort of a bird that would just be like a scavenger. So I don't personally know how protective they are of the area, but if there is potential food for them, I feel like they may be a little bit more aggressive.
How far have we progressed on the hole that we've dug?
The hole is dug
Is
by the
dug,
time you hear this. Yeah,
and we can hide under there.
you could. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody should go into the hole and hide.
Get in
Party
the
go
hiding
in the
hole.
hole.
Okay, so over the noon hours of like 12, 1, 2, 3, there's a lot more active back and forth between these birds.
At any point, I would like, well, since actually Kane heard it, and I am not good at spotting stuff, apparently, so someone should be outside looking for these birds.
You mean the outdoorsman doesn't want to look for a bird?
Well, I mean, I'll take a watch too, but I mean, we want to take a look and see what exactly we're dealing with here.
I mean, realistically, I would probably say like, well, I don't mind taking going out and taking a look around. I'm not going to be approaching them necessarily, but I certainly don't mind taking a scout around.
You can just poke your head out from the hole and see.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't mind going a little bit of a distance. I don't necessarily think that they're going to be aggressive towards me unless I'm like right up on them. And I suspect that I would be able to determine where they were before doing that, but I'm not going to go too far. But I'll do a bit of a scouting mission, sure.
I'll stop him from doing that. And Maximus will say, Kane, I don't want you leaving too far from this group. You're not exactly the most militaristic out of all of us.
I knew you loved me, man. I knew it.
That's not exactly what I'm saying, but
Okay. I could go with you if you want. You could protect me, and I can see what I can find if you want.
It's simply we're gonna stay here, and we're gonna make sure we can rest during the noon hours of this day. We don't want to wear ourselves out. We're going to be trekking throughout the night until we reach another place to stop. So I don't want you to wear yourself out. Just keep your eye on the sky, and if you see something, call it out.
As he says that and finishes to turn around to look at me, I'm already in the hole. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. All right, no, that makes sense. So I'll stay by the hole. I'm not going to be necessarily in it, but I'll kind of sit on a rock if there's any sort of shade. If I can find which way the sun's going and kind of go into the shady side and sit on a rock and just kind of look up, but
You're gonna
otherwise
sit
I'll just kind of I'm a sundial, but I'll just kind of like, continue to kind of just pace around where the hole is, and if it gets too warm, I'll duck in for a few minutes and just kind of,
Sure.
I'll just work around the hole.
He's staring into my soul.
You're welcome, Lawrence.
What color is the canvas?
It's a dark, dirty color.
Does it match the desert?
As close as you can get, I guess.
Okay, then I
This
don't have
isn't
to.
like the red deserts of Australia or anything.
So I don't have to throw mud up there or dirt up there to camouflage
No, you don't need
us.
to waste your
Okay.
water to make mud. Okay, so Dave, with his proficiency in hole navigation, teases
I
around the
mean,
shadows of the outside.
I'm sure I could get a resume together if you'd like.
Kind of like I don't know, a spider at a campfire. This is now just the African in me coming out. Like hiding behind like people in the shade, attracted to the light, but yeah. So following the shadow around. You don't see anything in the sky. There's one wispy cloud that goes by, but no signs of birds.
I don't know about you guys, but that cloud kind of looks like a penis. I don't know.
It probably
It's weird.
does.
It's weird. Anyway, guys, I don't see anything else.
I'm gonna let Cages respond to that one. I'm just gonna stay silent.
It's probably best to stay silent. Don't
I'm
encourage it.
curious to see what Cages will say to. I think that cloud looks like a penis.
And Kay just looks at Kane like very sternly. You know we are in the hole.
I'll just try to mask a laugh. I'll be like,
We're gonna stay here until noon passes. Let's
Okay.
move
Are you
on.
sure you guys wanna stay
I
here?
want to ask that.
So
After a joke like that, how long are we gonna stay in the hole? You can start
We're
making
here for the
whole
rest
jokes
of the
all
day.
day.
Oh man, it's a dungeon crawler type RPG. I mean, if you can't make an inappropriate sexual type jokes during this, you can't ever. I mean,
wait for
But you-
until we get into a bar.
You
That's
can
where
just
usually
imagine-
that happens. Yes.
You can just imagine, like, after the third hour of this going on, that Maximus gets out and starts just like pulling on the canvas without even untying the rope. He's just like, "Come on!"
Yeah.
I think Maximus would be a little bit more organized than just pulling on the rope or pulling on the canvas itself. We will pack up, however, after 3 or 4 hours. Let's say around 3,
Mhm.
and then
Okay.
get trekking again. Grom, I'll kick him awake. Let's go.
Okay, so nothing else of note is going to happen for the rest of the day. You're going to find some mid-sized rocks that you can't necessarily dig a hole underneath, unfortunately, without them caving in and crushing your head in your sleep. They're about waist height.
Mm,
That was a useless gesture off camera.
that's okay. I can imagine a waist height rock.
I'm glad.
So we're approaching night, and you're saying we're not finding anything. No place to rest. That's what you're saying.
Nothing. No. There are weeds growing next to the rocks. That's a good sign.
It could be water down below.
Glad noises.
Okay, so what time of day
So
is it
what
right now?
Yeah, Kay just turns to Maximus like, what are our options now? Camp in the
yeah.
open or?
It's like a
What?
6 o'clock in the afternoon kind of thing.
Oh, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Keep going. What are you doing? Let's keep trekking.
Well, fine. I don't know. When does the sun go down this time of year?
We're in the desert. Doesn't the sun go down like later?
Now, do we know in
I
the
feel like it
desert?
depends.
Do we know if it's similar to how it is in in real life, where the desert actually gets remarkably cold at night?
It did get remarkably cold the last
Okay.
night you spent in this desert.
Okay, which is crazy to me. You would think there'd be so much heat stored in the sand, but it's quite the opposite.
But there's no humidity. It's all a dry heat.
So if we need to, is it like is there like sandstorms, like a lot of sand flying around, or is it a fairly still desert?
You haven't really encountered that, no.
So what we could do if we needed to sleep at night and it will keep us somewhat warm too, is literally just dig ourselves, like almost like tuck ourselves in under the sand. It's just sand. You could just lay on the ground somewhere and like you're on a beach. I mean,
Sounds comfy.
It's 6 o'clock
optimal,
right
but
now, right? So
yeah.
I think it's worth it to keep going. How much
Mhm.
how
Until
much
the sun is gone.
distance do you think we've actually gone through? Like, are we
You've
30
gone.
kilometers away, 20 kilometers away now? Like
You've probably gone like 15 kilometers today.
15 kilometers.
You've made good time because the ground is so routine. It's not
Okay.
hard to traverse.
So estimate it's gonna take about 3 or 4 days,
Mm-hmm.
is what you're telling me. We have 3 days of water,
Mm-hmm.
of which we already used 1 day, I'm guessing. So we have 2 days of water. We have meat. We have 3 days of cat meat, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Plus rations, though. We must have left the camp with other rations
You
as
did
well.
specifically say that.
So we have more than enough days of food. It's the
Mhm.
water that we're
Right.
running out of.
You'll survive for a week on your food. You don't even because you don't have to eat every day and all that good stuff.
Right.
But your water is gonna turn a bit dire soon.
So we could.
We're going to start
I don't have
rationing the water.
I was just gonna say we can ration it. I mean, we'll still be a bit dehydrated, but we'll be able to function. And if we do a full march,
If we just drink half the water that we usually drink, it should last 4 days. We should be able to get there without actually having to find another
as long as we don't
source.
suffer any like endurance, like how far we can go in a day. But yes, I agree.
Well, haha, this is my turn to play with the fatigue system if that's what you're gonna do.
That's what I was afraid of. But
There's
I
actually rules
agree.
for dehydration.
Are there
Yeah.
rules to dehydration? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
reading now.
I can agree with you
Index.
that I think we should just push on as far as possible, and that's why I was suggesting like if we need to sleep, we can. It'll be pretty quick we find a spot, all hover together kind of thing, and just tuck ourselves into the sand. It'll be a very quick way to get under cover, so we won't have to waste too much time. Excuse me, too much time trying to find cover if we don't see something obvious. So
The
that way we can spend
canvas
more
itself
time.
should be able to hold in heat,
Yeah.
should it not?
It wouldn't hurt. Absolutely.
Yeah, it can form an insulating layer.
Right.
We would just have to kind of get it up before the heat kind of goes away. But yeah, it should help. But that's
By
what I
the way,
mean. Like,
you guys smell terrible right now.
thank you.
Just so you know.
There's nothing we can do about that.
Dehydration. Your character suffers a lethal wound each day he goes without water. You'll continue to take lethal damage until once again he has a steady supply of water. Page 187.
So it'll be some sort of a modified of that because we won't have no water. But okay.
Let's continue for 2 more hours, and then we will stop and rest and find some shelter, or if we can.
Okay.
I don't know. 6 o'clock
Well,
still feels like there's daylight out, and
there's still about an hour of daylight out at that point, yeah.
Will we be digging in the sand at night?
Yeah.
okay. So you're telling me that the light does disappear at 7. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes things different. There's moss, you're saying, right beside these rocks that we're sitting on right now?
Mm-hmm.
Moss it needs water.
Well, weeds, not moss.
Yeah. Weeds.
Still needs water. Plants need water to grow. Yes?
Mhm.
Fine. I guess we could stay here for tonight. We've gone through 15 kilometers, so I mean that's actually a lot of work done. Cages, what do you think?
Well, you're the outdoorsman, so you would know best when to stop and when to move. Cages would not be the right person to ask, I think.
Yeah, but I mean,
Cages trusts Maximus' judgment for everything.
okay.
He doesn't like taking responsibilities for things he doesn't know.
I'm looking around I'm looking at my party and I'm seeing how tired are they? But like Grom and Remy and Kane, who are not outdoorsmen, probably haven't done this sort of thing before. Are they?
Right. So you've essentially pushed them at as fast a pace as they can manage.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly being the fittest people in the world. So yeah, they could keep going, but they would suffer from like being tired later on.
Okay, let's not push ourselves too much today. Then we'll make camp here. Start digging.
Quick question on
Maybe
the. Oh, sorry.
maybe Remy or Kane can take a look at these weeds and see if they're possibly edible. Who knows?
Sure.
And I'll start digging, basically.
How does
Ages
how
help.
exactly? Yeah, exactly. How exactly does the like with a long rest and stuff, like does damage heal itself? Like, does lethal damage heal itself? Does burn damage heal itself? Does non-lethal damage? I know this is in the thing, and I just don't remember what I read.
Yeah, cool. Let's see. There's a healing rate which is extremely slow.
Right, I knew that because it's like basically at
Uh,
a certain point it gets to a normal wound and it will heal over time. I just can't remember what that time is.
I think it's a. Remember, I saw this. I think something like 1 lethal wound per week, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. If you look at page 186 and under 87 under healing help, normally non-lethal damage heals at the rate of 1 point per day, and lethal damage heals at the rate of 1 point per week.
But
Okay.
Remy did first aid on me anyway, and some of that
Right.
lethal damage was turned into non-lethal, right?
Right.
So I should be healing. It's been a day, so I should have healed at least one, I'm guessing, right?
That would be from the previous day when we were still at the ruins.
Right, but we slept, and then I got up.
Yep.
So at least one of that should be healed. And if I sleep soundly tonight, I should be able to heal another one of those wounds. Burn damage, I don't think. However, does burn damage, can you use first aid on burn damage?
Unless
don't-
you kiss his soul better, maybe not.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I'm trying to. I don't know if it goes away
Yeah.
naturally or not. That's what I'm not sure about.
Burn damage cannot be treated with first aid. That's under the first aid rules, page 186.
So it'll
I'm
take
just not sure if
weeks or months basically to heal that. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, so if I cast something and I have like I succeed by more than one, I can use that to heal burn. That's the only thing I recall seeing that will heal it, and I'm just not sure if there was something else or not. So I can look into it.
More like preventing. But healing lethal wounds in itself is actually a very difficult thing.
Mhm.
I think there should be some additional rules for improving that rate. That should be under healing help. The number of successes rolled by the character treating the patient decreases the amount of time it takes to heal a wound. For example, a character with 1 lethal and 2 non-lethal receives the attention of a skilled healer. The healer looking after him makes 3 successes, meaning that he will heal 3 times faster. Right? Yeah. So if they use, I believe it's probably the medicine skill, the number of successes indicates how fast improve of the healing rate.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right. I just saw this. Okay, under healing help again. Only time can heal burn damage. However, at a rate of 1 point per 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. So I would be healed then from the 2 that I took like days ago. Okay.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable because if there's no way to actually treat it. Oh man, that's fine. I'll just
Twist
roll
me,
all my
baby.
I'll just roll all my dice. Oh wait, I have no health really. Okay. Cool. Thank you. That's what I was looking for it. I'm literally searching burn damage through the whole thing right now and I haven't found it yet. So that's great. Thank you.
All right, so we're digging
So
holes.
I will investigate around the weed area.
Mhm.
And okay, sorry, one more question. Do I add up all the different damage types I have to see if and the sum of those has to be less than my health? Because like I have 2 lethal still because it takes forever. Does that mean I can only get up to 3 burn? Because I have 5 total.
I'm assuming if you get 3 burn, then you go unconscious.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Because
you
it's
have 2
total
lethal
damage,
right
I would
now,
think.
so you have 3 health technically.
Okay, that's
So
what
if
I
you take
figured. I
3
just wanted
burn,
to make
you would
sure.
go unconscious. Yeah.
Cool.
Like even if you have 2 burn right now and you take 3 non-lethal, you would still be down to 0.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
would
yeah.
suffer
Yes.
the consequence
That's
of
what I
being
figured.
zero.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I'm gonna inspect over by the weeds, kind of digging around a little bit, and at some point, if at some point, if no one's watching, I'm going to attempt to kind of mutter to myself a few little aquarific words.
Aquarific.
That's a good start.
And I'm just gonna be like,
Aqua
boil,
hydration.
boil,
Moist.
water in trouble, moistus maximus.
Moistus
not you.
Maximus?
Gross.
What?
Not you. No. Oh, sorry. You didn't hear that. I didn't mean your name. And I'm going to attempt to conjure a little bit of like a small pool of water. Maybe, I mean, it's not going to be huge. It's not going to be Lake Maximus or anything, but I'm going to try to conjure, like, I'm going to dig down a little bit as if I'm like digging to find water, because the weeds are there. There's probably some moisture, so it would make sense. And then I'll dig down, I don't know, just like a foot or something. And then I'll try to conjure like a little pool of water in there that,
Sure.
you know, I don't know how much it would be.
The earth has sprung a leak.
So I'm going to roll 3 dice.
Yeah. Because to conjure not a whole lot of water would be like a 2. Because it's a small amount of a raw substance.
Correct. And that's 3 failures. No, I'm sorry, 2 failures. And 1 success. But I'm going to also use my new skill that I've learned as I'm doing it to try to, like, I feel the burn starting to set in, and I'm just going to be like, it's going to be like doing one of those mantras in your head where you like try to put yourself in a happy place. And then like prevent one of those burn damage.
Very Dune, like being Gesserit. Fear is the mind killer.
Yeah.
Thing going
So
on.
I have a 1 success.
Cool. So you're going to get half the water you were hoping for, basically. It's going. You're going to get water, but it's not going to be a whole lot. Like 2 cups of water.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll be like, oh guys,
Be quick.
heartburn,
It's sinking
sorry.
into the sand.
Yeah, I know. So I'll try to cup it or something. I'll be like, oh guys, there's a little bit. I mean, it's not much, but if we dig down, I found some water, and it's just like falling through my hands. I'm like, oh no, it's just mud in my hands now. Like, I'll try this again another time. Maybe we'll find a better source of water.
My soul is wet.
Yeah, maybe I just need to come up with a better rhyme.
Possibly.
All right. Well, there's hope, guys. I'll take another look next time we stop.
I like to make another perception roll.
Do the thing. What are you trying to perceive?
I'm going to try to perceive if what Kane did was like if I notice that there's something unnatural about what just happened, basically.
Okay, sure.
1 success, so probably not, I'm guessing.
No, like when you walk over to Inspector's hole where he found the water, you can confirm that maybe it's just like a lot of condensation or the rain that's happened the past few days. There's like a layer of damp soil, probably damp sand.
Okay.
Look at that, man. I tried. I'm sorry. I'm trying to help us.
I'll say, good job. Keep at it. And then I'll go back to digging the hole for our shelter.
All this just for some mud.
Worth it.
Okie dokie. So we'll spend the night in our little hidey hole, trying not to die from the cold.
So while Cages empties the water skin of the day, he's thinking out aloud to the group. So we've done 15 kilometers out of 40, but Grom did say something about having an ancient way halfway.
Mm.
Is that supposed to make travel faster, with a road?
He does that should definitely help you having like a road, because now you're not like trudging through the sand.
Right. So it might actually take us less days to reach where we're going. Although he does bring up the water situation, like we can reach the road sooner, and that would mean that we can reach the settlement sooner. Or do we take a detour to find water?
Is there anything around where we're stopping, like again, rocks or weeds?
Yeah, I think
or...
Grom would know.
So Grum mentions the crossroads he knows of. There is a tree.
Cool.
An
So-
oasis?
He couldn't say for sure. He was very single-minded in his mission.
Okay. But that's like would be the next day travel.
Yeah, that should be in the next day.
Do you recall how long it's been since we had the last battle? In terms of days, we're talking like 3 days or something, or 4 days, or is it more?
It's been a day and a half since.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just need to keep track of that for the lethal damage healing. That's all.
Okay.
So we'll take watches as we sleep. We
Mhm.
will sleep huddled together. We're right next to each other, basically. So that we like share warmth, as well as sleep under the canvas and the sand, I suppose. And
Mhm.
hopefully that'll help.
Hopefully.
Okay, so while I'm on watch, I'm going. Which watch am I taking?
If anything,
Is it-
probably the
Probably the relics.
probably the last watch.
Cool. So once I know that they're asleep, I'll kind of, I'll sit up on top of the sand type thing, and then what I'll do is I'll kind of pick up one of the water skins, or
Mhm.
yeah, one of the water skins. That's believable, and one of the empty ones, and I'll kind of like, I don't know, walk off like 20 feet or something, just so that I'm not directly beside them.
Right.
I'm going to spend about 10 minutes or so again digging out a big hole, and a big hole. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt this again, just
Mhm.
in the middle of the desert. And I'm knowing what happened last time, and the fact that Maximus somehow almost caught me, even though he's sleeping. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't really trust him. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna kind of tap into my another talent that I had kind of learned throughout this. I remember reading this text about, not that it was important back then, because sorcery and everything was renowned before the Night of Fire. However, there was this passage about if you needed to cast something without being noticed, there was a certain kind of method you could do. It'd take a little bit longer, but so I'm going to use my inconspicuous casting, which will accept 1 burn.
Mhm.
I just kind of like, oh, and I'm going to attempt to do this water again, and I will. I can't risk dying when everyone's asleep, so I will roll. I will only try. I will
Try
only.
to-
I
try-
like this. This
try
is
to-
good because it makes it so much like more like you have to be more strategic.
There's tension to it. And I like
I'm
that
gonna
you're
just-
role playing it like literal heartburn, as
yeah,
if
I know.
eating like too much seafood will actually kill
and
you.
I'm just gonna roll like 2. I'm just gonna try to. I'm just rolling 2 dice.
Just roll 2 dice, the bare minimum.
Oh,
He makes the water.
So
he makes the
I'm
water.
I'm doubting. Yeah, no, because I'm doubting I can prevent the 1 burn from the inconspicuous. It's actually the roll. So yeah, I'm gonna cast, or I'm going to use inconspicuous casting in the sense that I'm gonna just kind of, just in case Maximus doesn't trust me and he's awake or something like that, I'm gonna make sure that it doesn't look like I'm doing anything. other than just digging and
Digging a
digging, and then
hole
I'm just
20
gonna
meters away from us.
If anything, you're like peeing into the hole while you dig it.
right, and then I'm gonna have my hand down there, and all of a sudden I'm gonna actually see some. I don't know how much water, assuming it's an actual success.
This is
But
an actual simple success for you.
But I'm gonna
So
start seeing it happen, and I'm just gonna be like, I don't want to make too much noise because I don't know how much is gonna come out. But I guess it's coming out of kind of like the energy around me or whatever. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna quickly stick the canteen or the water skin down there and attempt to fill it as much as possible.
it's as if like a Star Trek replicator didn't have like an outside housing. You see like the light manifest into water, and you're going to, just it's not going to be like a plump water skin. It's
I
going
found
to
an
be kind
ocean.
of slushy, but it's fine. Like my bottle of water right now.
Perfect.
You'll be fine.
So what would it like? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know how much that would be for us. But anyway, that's fine.
That's good for a day. That'll hydrate someone.
Okay. So I'll just be like very proud of myself and I'll be like,
Yippee!
I'll be like, yes, it worked. Oh my god, that's amazing. Okay. I'm gonna leave the hole.
Keep it together, smoothing your hair.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the hole, and of course there's gonna be some moisture around because it didn't all land in there.
Yeah.
I didn't cast funnel, so and then I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave the hole so like if anyone asks, I know. Okay, listen, I tried again, and I just dug down a little deeper and found a little bit. So and then I take the thing back and
condensation trap.
yeah, and then I'm just gonna canvas wouldn't work. I was gonna say maybe I could try that, but actually that would make a lot of
Remember,
sense.
it is waxed canvas.
True. Okay, so in that case, is there like a small piece or like I don't know, like are they just big sheets or what?
You've just got one big sheet.
Yeah, one big
Okay,
sheet.
well then forget that because we're using that for insulation. So anyway, whatever. They can question it. So then I'll wait the rest of my watch, and then as they get up, but I'll be like, who's up first? Who wakes up first?
We'll roll
I
for it.
imagine Maximus.
Probably because he's militaristic.
Maximus.
So Maximus,
I'll wake up
and I'll be like, Maximus.
and I'll walk over.
I want it to be useful and seeing that I found a little bit of moisture before, but it wasn't enough. I went over there. You can see the hole there. I went and I dug around there for a little bit. I didn't want to wake you guys, so I moved a little bit away. I got this. It's not great, but it's some water. I was able to get some. It might be a little sandy, but it's good.
Good job. So
there is also condensation on the top of your canvas as well.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah, like it's kind of bold a little bit.
Yeah, the water. It gets so cold at night. I thought maybe the drastic temperature change could cause some sort of a condensation. And I mean, you can see some here, and I just kind of like run my finger on the canvas, and I'm like, so I was able to actually capture some. It's not perfect. It may do one of us for a day, but at least in this dire, if that's enough to get us to the road, at least maybe it'll help.
Absolutely. Good job. You might have saved someone's life. And I'll hand it back to him. He can keep that one.
Okay, I'll take the dirty one. Thanks.
I'll start waking up everybody else. Okay, just get up. It's time for us to start moving again. And then Remy and Grom too. Grom, lead the way. After we pack up all our shit.
He just yawns and says he's thirsty.
Kane found some water, so you can take some from that.
Yeah, I'll be like, hey man, I found some of this. You want me to try it first, or do you want to just have it? I found it. I dug down. It should be really fresh.
From Kane's hands and just like drinks it.
And I'm going to be somewhat concerned because knowing that I conjured it and I don't really know what I'm doing, I'm kind of like, so how's it?
And Kane just like gargles it a little bit and swallows, and then he's like, tastes a bit sandy, and gives it back to Kane.
Yeah. I'll probably take a few sips after about 10-15 minutes if Kay just doesn't collapse.
No, Kay just doesn't suddenly die.
I'll be like, oh my, wow, this is crisp. I mean, yes, it's a little gritty, but man, the water, that is really nice. It's so much better than that.
You'll hear Maximus shout out. Remember to ration the water, people. We don't have too much of that stuff.
After hearing Kay just gargling the water.
Exactly. After hearing Kay just gargling the water.
to our commodities.
Yeah, Cage is like, oh, Sandy, I'm good. Cool.
Righty ho ho.
Well, I'll be walking with a pep in my step after feeling super successful.
How much health do you have right now?
3.
Okay.
But he's got spunk.
Yes.
That's what's
I've got,
important.
I have 5, but 2 lethal damage, and it's going to take like another 5 days to heal one of those. So
Was that from combat? Like you took actual wounds?
I'm trying to remember where it came from.
I'm almost
I
sure
believe
it's
it
I'm
was.
pretty sure
burn.
it was burn.
I think you only
I'm
took
like
burn
90%
damage. at
sure
You
it
only
was
took
burn
burn damage. There's no way you should still have
Yeah,
lethal
didn't
damage.
wade
Maximus
into
was the one that got bit by the
tooth and
cat.
nails.
I didn't. Yeah, I thought I could have swore I took actual lethal for something, but I don't remember what. So I mean, I'm happy to be back to 5.
I'm gonna hand wave that and call it burn because I honestly don't remember.
I'll have to go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
But as you all should too.
My
Um,
memory
but-
tells me that you didn't take anything
I-
from,
I-
you know.
Yeah,
Well,
I
wow.
remember writing it, but I really don't remember what it was from. So
Yeah, so we're gonna hand wave that one because
well, in
I'm
that
pretty
case-
sure nobody else got involved in
in that
lethal
case,
or anything.
water all around, guys. It's fine. It's totally fine.
No, I mean, literally, nobody else took damage from the cat. It was just me.
Yeah,
See,
I
only-
can't remember where it came from. I
Probably just burn.
You definitely
Memory.
burnt yourself.
Oh, that I definitely did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay.
So that's what it was.
Okie
Okie
dokie.
dokie.
So on this day,
Woo!
basically,
Yes.
if we make a force march, we should get to the road no problem.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna try to get there even before. Well, we'll try to get it there at least by the end of this day.
Sure.
Probably like a force march if we need to. But
Yeah.
let's go.
So it is going to be later in the day by the time you get there.
Okay.
So it's going to be about 2 kilometers out. You're actually going to see the tree
Yes.
on the horizon. It is a big motherfucker.
I'm
and-
gonna
Would
see
it
that and
happen
be
to be a
like,
coconut tree?
think
coconut
like
water is so much
the
more refreshing.
most ancient of like willow or oak tree. Like
Okay.
massive trunk. Huge branches hanging off. Looks like gigantic fruit. Also hanging off of these branches. There's like huge bulbous hanging things.
Any of you guys comfortable enough to investigate the? Well,
We
when we
are.
approach
I
it.
mean, we are approaching it. We're not there
You're approaching
yet.
it. Yeah, you're 2Ks off.
Right. So
So if
we
get closer,
will
I'm gonna
get closer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I'll kind
So-
of like I'll kind of like put my hand out and be like, just guys, hold on. Let's just make sure there's nothing. I mean, this is going to be a pretty treasured, like, it's a big tree. Like there might be animals or something nearby. Maybe we should just kind of be careful.
About
approaching.
half a kilometer out, you're going to realize that those are in fact not gigantic fruit.
They're
They're
birds.
cages
What?
with people inside.
Oh. Oh.
Only not
Okay.
dead. Oh,
Well, guys, that's a lot of food.
We can drink them.
I'll turn and look at Kane, like give him a weird stare, like what? Eat
Oh,
them?
I was kidding. Sorry. Too soon. Sorry.
And
thought it
I'll
was
give
fruit.
Cages a side glance. Like if anybody, I know Cages best out of this entire group, so it's
Mhm.
like, are you sure about this guy? Basically, is what I'll be sending to Cages.
I thought it was fruit. I was salivating, and then I was a joke. I would never.
it's a mirage.
Yeah.
We
But the good
will-
news, guys, this tree is huge. So once we determine if we can help these people, I might be able to, if we're near here when we camp. I mean, I was able to get a little bit of water out of just digging into the desert. This is a tree. It must be getting water from deep down. If I can have more time, I might be able to supply us with a little bit more water, maybe.
I'm more worried about the situation. Why are these people caged up in this tree? This is the first
100%.
question I
We
want
need
to
to
answer.
figure that out.
Right,
So we are getting closer, and we're
Here's the
looking
lay of the land
around
for
and
you.
making sure there's nothing that'll put us in the tree.
So here comes my expert paint skills to provide you the lay of the land.
Ooh.
So, to use shapes such as rectangles. So, here is, it's not perfectly straight, but the road going up, and there is a T junction. And no, that needs to be black. And then I'll do a pentagon for the tree. So it's like a massive tree in the corner of this cross section. And you are here. About where's the hand grabby thing?
I don't think there is in paint.
Paint is useless.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh.
brutal.
So you started to see the tree over there. You're now here. Call it the range of where you are.
Okay.
This circle. From here to there, you can see these cages with people hanging in them. And at the base of the tree, you can see 2 tents.
Oh,
Yeah, 2 small tents.
That's what I was afraid of.
2 small tents.
Correct.
That's great.
So if I first, I'll kind of just again halt them. I'm like, guys, there's some tents. There's some tents, or whoever does. But if when I see them, I'm gonna be like, guys, there's a couple tents up there. We gotta be careful. Guys, there's people down there. We gotta be careful. Oh my god, there's gonna be.
Do we want to take cover, hiding in the sand?
Is there cover?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like,
Drop down. Start crawling.
It's going from extreme desert to just regular desert. So kind of Kalahari, there's a whole bunch of
Well, you said that the tree was huge. Is there a way for us to take an angle where that we can't see the tents? So the tents, if someone's in the tents, they can't see us type thing? Is it wide enough to block the entrance of the 2 tents? Depending on how close the tents are.
I'm just trying to find a good picture. Here we go.
Yeah.
Because
I'm just thinking that would be the best approach is where we're not directly inside. Unless we want to not startle them and be like, hello, traveler, except it doesn't look like they're very friendly. So I don't think that's a good idea. But
we should identify who's in the tent and who are in the trees.
Yeah. We need to know why those people are in the trees.
It essentially looks like something out of the Kalahari Desert.
So there's bushes and stuff.
Yeah, it's gone from extreme pure sand to more
like deadlands.
Right.
Or,
like Badlands kind of thing.
Badlands, that's the word I'm looking for, yeah.
Now is the time for me to mention for the stream. I'm a South African, so that's where I get all these points of reference for. So this is the kind of thing I'm seeing in my head.
Cool.
Cool.
I'm gonna point out to them and be like, guys, we're gonna be not only watch out for those 2 guys in the two tents, but these people up in the cages, if they spot us, they may yell out for help, and that's going to give us away. So we have to be careful. We have to try to communicate with them to be quiet if we're going to try to approach.
I'm considering just even avoiding the situation altogether and just doing a wide berth around this tree and these people.
I'm okay with that. I mean, as much as I would love to help them, I don't know what we can do.
Well, which part of the road are we taking?
Graham says go left.
So that's away from the tree anyway.
Go left.
The only reason why we want to see this tree is because it could have provided shelter, food, water, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the upside of it, of approaching them.
But at the same time, there's a lot more risk, I think.
There's only one There's one fighter in this group.
And we don't know how many people are in the tents.
Right. We don't know how many people are in the tents.
They could be friendly.
2 small tents. Small.
They could be friendly, Maximus.
Yeah.
Nobody's not everyone's your enemy.
Cages.
And then I look up at the cages.
Cages.
I'd be like,
there
write
are
your name.
Cages.
Yeah, just write in your name. There are you up on the branches.
They could be, they could be people who deserve to be in cages.
So I'll look at cages and say, okay,
it's you.
There's
fine.
more cages than tents. Actually, how
You
many
go.
cages are there?
Be my guest. Go ahead and try
how
to
many
negotiate
cages
with
are
the
there?
people in the tents.
How
We'll
many
be
cages
staying
are
a
there
safe
compared to? We
distance
know there
away.
are 2 tents, but how many
It's
cages are hanging up on the tree? And how big are
from
they? Like,
from this side you can see 6 cages, and they're like gibbet cages, so they're not tall enough for someone to stand in, but tall enough for someone to like kneel up in, like on your knees, fully up.
like a human size
Yeah,
person.
like a
And
human-sized person.
and it's a tent. Like they're small, but I mean
Yeah, the
you're
tents are
saying
small,
like
so they're like
smaller than
military
human.
single person tents.
Right. Okay.
Hmm.
So there are 2 of those, and they're like,
I mean,
I'm sorry,
I
you said 6.
Yeah, you can
6
see
from
6
where
that
we
we
can
cages.
can
see,
see.
and
Yeah,
all 6 are occupied.
yeah.
I mean, I tend
Are
to.
they moving? The people in the
No,
cages, are they moving? So they're
Are they
dead.
like laying down, or are they like leaning
well,
up, or?
from what you can see, someone's sitting, someone's slumped, some are pressed
So,
against the bars.
so they might be just not doing anything,
It's late in the
or they
day.
might be dead.
Different variations
Well,
of
let's
dead
look.
and alive.
They're in cages. It's still desert. They're up there. They're dehydrated. They're exhausted. They're probably dead.
Yeah, I mean, the sitting one may not be, but
It depends
so
on
if they're
how
not
long they've
dead, they're
been kept up
And
there.
doesn't
Yeah.
that make it even crazier that if you get 2 guys like idly camping here for probably a while without any water, without any food?
Well, my guess is that it may be some sort of a bandit thing where if they see anyone who comes by, they capture and put up in a cage. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think, given our goals and our own limited supplies, the risk, like what reward would we get other than feeling good and possibly helping people, which is great, don't get me wrong, but we don't even know if they're alive, at the risk of dying. I don't know if we're not going to help anyone if we die. Maybe if we get to our destination, we can report what we've seen. And
The supplies might
Remember,
be useful.
remember Desolation. It's like a winner might makes right. It's a very realism kind of thing.
Mhm.
So you are 6 people
Yeah.
traveling together who are visibly armed. So you do have that on your side.
There's
With
2 of them.
I like
You know
not
what,
trying
guys?
to like
You
metagame
got
on your behalf, but to
no,
remind
no.
you of
It's
the
a good
situation
point. Yeah. You know what, guys? We are armed. I'm ready.
Have you ever used that?
I've got a license to
My
bear
fists?
arms.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah. Well, not for fighting, no. But no. It's all I
Okay.
got, man. I don't
No, I mean,
like
what
weapons.
Standing in a mirror
are you
looking cool.
suggesting, Maximus?
To
You
avoid
want
the
to avoid
situation
them? You want to
completely.
kill them? You want to talk to them?
I want to avoid them. There's 2 tents. There's at least, I'm guessing, 2 people, but that would be dumb. They should have more than 2 people there if they're making an encampment. And if they were able to string up 6 people in cages, they should definitely have more than 2 people.
That's the part that, or they have something on their side working for them. Sorry, is this a world where like I know orcs are bad, or there are giants and stuff or that we're aware of? Like, are there other races?
That kind of
or-
stuff does exist, yes.
So okay, so
But
like
these are pretty human-sized tents.
These are human-sized
Oh
tents.
yeah, for sure. I'm just thinking, I'm like, I mean, it wouldn't be. I've seen stranger things than some like giants and whatnot working for people. And maybe that's like, we don't know what they have on their side. And cages, I have to say, if Maximus doesn't want to kill them, I mean, Maximus loves fighting, and if he doesn't even want to take, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I can do to help. I'll do everything I can, but we look like we outnumber them, but we just,
If we go in
something
there
doesn't seem right.
and we don't outnumber them, the only way we can
We're-
get out is
Yeah.
by talking to them,
Yeah.
which is your strong suit, Cages. Are you confident that you can talk our way out of there if it comes to that? Because I'm not confident that I can fight and kill all of them, however many they may be. Considering
Oh,
that nobody else here really helped during the cat fight.
Well, it's a desert, and if you really want to talk to somebody in a desert, you probably need some, bargaining chips.
We do have extra food, I suppose.
food. Yeah.
I just want everyone to be aware, of what we can lose, so that we can be on our way.
Remember,
Absolutely.
with like thieves in the real world generally, it is a case of your money or your life, unless you piss them off. As soon as they
Mhm.
have something to lose, then it quickly becomes your money and your life.
Well, that's just what my concern is. If they're bandits, if we say, okay, well, we can spare this food, they're likely to be like, you can spare all of it. So that's
They
my
only prey on
concern.
the weak. Thieves.
Yeah.
How long will it
They're-
take us to get to the road?
To get to the road, not very long right now.
Do
Wait,
we
isn't
see
that the
any
road?
movement? Do we
You're
see any
400
movement?
meters away from the road and the tree.
Yeah.
Do we see any movement from the tents?
You see no movement. No.
The other option is to wait here and try to, well, we'll stealth or we'll hide and see exactly who comes out of that tent and see what they do. That could answer a lot of questions.
We could do that. I mean, we could try to like create a mound of sand or try to position ourselves more covered from the tree or something. Yeah.
There's
I just
shrubbery, so we could definitely like hide somewhere.
That's true. That's true. But these cages up top, this is just really ominous. Like those aren't just bandits. That's like that's some fucked up shit, man. We got to be careful. I don't know who strings people up like that.
So this is what
And
we're
it-
gonna do. We're gonna make for the road that's heading left, the way we have to go anyway, right?
Mhm.
And then we're gonna go in a path that provides cover, basically the most cover possible. So sand dunes,
Cover.
shrubbery, that kind of
Right.
stuff that we
Like
can
where the
hide
bush is
in.
extra thick.
Right. As we keep an eye on those tents. And if anything comes out from those tents, we hide and we watch and see what they do.
Mhm.
Well, I'm pretty spindly, so I'll just turn sideways and no one can see me. So
So that's fine.
Yeah, I guess that's our plan.
So that's
I-
fine for a plan.
I try to subtly hide behind Maximus as we move.
You're gonna, or like Scooby doing a line behind Maximus.
Yeah, exactly. There's like six of
Everyone
us.
Scooby Doo's behind Maximus.
Six of us exactly in the same like movement.
Single file.
Yeah, Cages is used to this routine.
Yeah. Oh
Right.
man.
Maximus, help! Again?
Maximus,
God damn it.
are you wearing what kind of armor are you wearing?
Leather.
Okay, good. If there was any sort of metal, I was going to suggest covering it with the tarp so there's no reflection.
No,
what time
we
of
don't.
day
We're not
is it?
that rich.
Is it close to evening?
It's the beginning of evening. It's like 5:30.
Right.
So as we make our way to the road,
Mm-hmm.
any movement at all, anything.
Nothing as you make your way to the road. No,
Okay.
no, you don't see anything else. You can make out two more cages
Uh-huh.
as
we
your
start
angle
to,
changes. Yeah, but nothing and no one is moving.
Can I see
Or
anything?
make a
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
perception.
I was just gonna say I was gonna ask if I could look up down the like at that area plus down the roads as far as I can see, just to see if I can see anything making its way towards us.
Right.
So
Perception.
roll mine as well.
Let's see.
I only got a 3 this time.
I got 2 successes.
Hey!
Wow.
Wow.
Yay!
There's a 4
Wow.
success.
Okie dokie. So, on 3 of the cages, you do see giant birds pecking at what's inside the cage.
Oh.
Ah,
Okay.
They're dead.
yeah. And these birds may be their pets or their
There is
hounds.
one cage that's swaying as someone kind of like tries to shoo a bird away.
Kay
Shit.
just pats on Maximus's shoulder. There's someone alive. There's someone still alive there.
God damn it. Fine. I will tell the other group, the group members to stay here.
Turn around and look at your procession.
Stay here. Stay hidden.
Like, geez, guys, this is scary.
How far are we from the tree, and how high up are they?
They're. I'm trying to really.
Well,
think about a
specifically the
realistic
alive
height.
one. Yeah.
Specifically, the alive person is going to be 8 meters up this tree. When I say this
8
tree is big,
meters?
I mean it.
So like
This is,
24 feet, 25
So
feet.
if he
Big tree.
falls, he's dead. That's what you're saying.
This is a fall that is going to hurt very, very much.
So I can't shoot the cage.
Oh no, you'd never get through the chain anyway.
Okay. How the hell did they get these guys up there in the first place then?
And we're roughly how far away from the tree?
You'd be a little bit further away now, probably like between 500 and 600
500.
meters.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So you wouldn't be able to cut a straight line.
I'll tell the group to stay still and hide. And I will stealth closer to the tents to see and listen for people talking inside the tents, basically.
Okay.
Just as Maximus is about to leave, I'll just tell him to be careful by using my Inspire talent.
Yay.
And
That
you're
should
giving
give
me...
you a +2, I believe.
Okay. So I
Okay,
have
Mac.
8 in stealth. I'm going to have to roll this first anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 6, 7.
You are very sneaky. You
I
are
sneak like
one
the
with the
wind.
bush.
One with the bush.
One with the bush.
You are basically
Ah,
you're
God.
basically like a Khoisan tracker or something.
You're a bushman
You're a proper bushman.
in every
You-
sense of the word.
You can even see spores of animals as you
Wow.
make your way through.
There is
Um,
some dander of vulture. There is some...
Dander. I learned recently, going wildly off topic, that the dander that people are allergic to is actually like leftover urine of the
Oh,
animal.
really?
That
I
dries
just
on
thought it
the
was
fur.
dead skin cells.
Mm-mm.
oh.
You're not allergic to the skin or the fur. It's actually their urine.
Fantastic.
Fun
Well, that
little known fact.
that explains why I'm not a fan of cat urine.
Yeah, it explains why you don't regularly eat kitty litter.
That explains it. Yes,
Sorry,
that
guys,
explains it.
I'm allergic. I can't. You enjoy yourselves.
Where the hell did that come from? Oh my god.
Your amazing
Where is
perception.
it going? It's more important.
All I do is
Maybe
stealth
go
towards
with
the
It was
tents.
That's fair.
it was a
that's
working
fair.
hypothesis, and it just came to his mind. All the pieces clicked.
Oh my god. All
And
right.
then
one of those, like,
Maximus
shower
put dander
thoughts.
on his sneak.
Yeah. You
Did
you
you
hear
know?
people snoring in the tents.
People snoring in the tents. What time of day is
Correct.
it right now already?
It's before the sun goes down.
And they're snoring in the tents already.
You hear snoring, correct?
And there's no watch, no guard.
Not as organized as you, apparently.
How many people snoring in the tents?
You hear 2 snores.
So 1 per tent.
They have guard birds. That's the more troubling thing.
Yeah. I did say, I mean, I'm not saying this to Maximus because he's obviously up there, but it's like, I figured they might have some sort of, I was thinking more of a, giants or something, but those birds, if they have them trained, we could be
Or
in
maybe
trouble.
they're just naturally attracted to.
They could be. I'm
food.
just worst case scenarioing it just to where we're not surprised. Well, worst case scenario is
Where's the entrance to the tent itself? On my side
Facing
or away
facing
from me?
away from you.
I'd like to cut one of the tents and make a small
Oh
hole.
god. Okay, so I'm gonna need you to roll to do this stealthily.
But I just rolled.
Well, you rolled to get there. Now roll to do another thing.
Damn it. Fine. 1, 2,
2.
and then 3
Yes!
more.
Oh,
Okay. So you're going to pull the knife very slowly down. It's gonna be like a slight like reep sound.
Uh-huh.
As he does that, I'm gonna go find water. I'll be right back.
Cool. The guy in the tent, the snoring stops, but then you hear him turn over. And then the snoring continues, like as you get halfway down.
Okay.
And are you gonna cut like all the way to the ground or?
Can I peek in the tent first?
Yeah.
So peek in the tent. What do I see?
You see a person, a older graying man
Uh-huh.
with a makeshift spear next to his bedroll, sleeping in the tent with like supplies. He's kind of like curled around his supplies with like a spear next to him.
Uniform?
No uniform. He's in like brown homemade like farm clothes essentially.
Brown homemade farm clothes. Elderly man has a spear, but has lots of like supplies.
Yeah. Good to note also that it is it's a pointy wooden stick spear, not even like metal tipped.
Is there a coup de grace in this system where you can kill someone who's like not aware of you?
I believe there's something to that
Silently is the key.
Let's do the quick search.
Just drop your
There was something
dagger
pretty
in his throat.
similar, but
There
I'm
was
not
something
sure.
like that.
But it's not like exactly called coup de grace.
Would I say that he has supplies that are not necessarily his? Did he take these supplies from these people?
Hard to tell.
But he has
He
a
does
lot
have-
of supplies.
He basically has a food and water pile that resembles your entire group's.
Now,
Right.
is the Tupperware matching or no?
You know, one of them's the red lid.
So it's
You don't-
probably from the different people. That's what I'm saying.
Probably.
So
Tupperware
GM,
causes
I'm
everything.
looking at Killing Blow, page 185, I think.
I knew
That's
it
on the
was there
effects of
somewhere.
damage. Yeah. Helpless or unconscious or dying characters could potentially be dispatched with a single killing blow. The attacker ignores the victim's defense, inflicting damage with every success roll on his attack roll. So I don't know how you're going to use that.
I would say he is pretty helpless, being asleep.
So you get extra damage at the very least.
So I could literally kill him right now if
Well,
I
I
wanted
mean,
to.
you ignore the victim's defense, so every
Yeah.
success is every success you roll is damage.
Right.
Yeah. So you could maybe not kill him outright.
This reminds you of the typical D&D problem where, you're doing a coup de grace, but you still have to roll to attack, and if you miss, you miss.
Yeah, like this guy's lying down in front of me, and oh no, I missed
And
my
I still
stab.
miss.
He's unconscious. I roll to hit him, as if this is a challenge.
And I don't get an auto hit. Still have to roll a hit.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that you have to roll damage after that is also very insulting. It's like, I have literally put my sword in his face. Why is he alive?
Yeah, I've always wondered about. I always figured just like I would always role play that as like an auto hit, and then roll damage and re-roll ones or something like that.
Right,
Like,
so
that's
this is
I
how we're gonna
normally
do
try
it.
to it.
I like the idea of being able to killing blow him because he is technically helpless. If he survives this, we're gonna go into initiative, and he's going to alert the other person and your group.
Not if you sever his larynx.
See, that's the thing, right? If you knock him unconscious as well, then it's fine.
I
So
was
this
thinking
is
of
like
just shooting him through the flap that I've created with an arrow.
just arrow. You can do that. You can definitely do that. So
I don't want to go into the tent. I just want
Sure.
to, like, probably the arrow's the best way to do it too.
You know what the best
Sure.
way would be is if you had his spear just through the hole.
Well,
The only thing
You-
that's not the question. I think I can kill him. The
yeah.
problem
Given that I
is-
don't want to just give you a free kill,
Uh-huh.
you'd have to like draw your bow and aim it from outside the tent because like the creaking would probably wake anyone up.
Okay.
I mean, like when you hear people drawing it like a longbow. Do you have a longbow or a short bow?
I think
Either
I
way,
have a
when you
longbow.
hear people drawing those like on YouTube videos, it is actually quite loud. It's a very distinct sound.
Okay. Fine.
I mean, I guess I
Um,
would be a little bit.
So
on
I mean,
edge, too.
it's not like I'd make you do a long distance shot. Like literally take 3 steps back, draw and release.
But they'd be alerted. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
Possibility of being a little.
there's a
Damn hell.
possibility. If he survives it, doesn't go
Wait,
unconscious.
there's creaking
then they're
outside
awake.
though.
There is.
There's a
the
guy
birds,
who's
like,
swinging
clinging.
his freaking cage and trying to
Mhm.
get the bird off his cage. So sound, there is sound already. It's not like
You make a good case. That makes it easier.
okay.
This
Now the
reduces your
question is,
difficulty.
should I even do this or not? I'm trying to weigh this in my head. I came across a tree with all these people in it who were like some of them are dead, one of them's alive. Why is this happening? Who are these people? I still can't answer these questions. Do these people deserve death? The fact that he has a lot of supplies in his tent is actually a favor for he's a bad guy and he took these supplies. Right? The fact that he doesn't have a uniform on doesn't means that he's not actually from any kind of group, more like bandits. Yes? The fact that they
Fair
have
assumptions.
tents, it just feels like he's stolen all this stuff from people. But the next question is, there's only 2 of them. How could they have possibly stolen all this shit?
I turn to Cages and I'd be like, "Is he talking to himself?"
No,
you
I'm
see
not-
Maximus like doing the math.
He just
Yeah.
is like,
Fuck it.
he's
Alright.
being awfully quiet.
Screw it.
I see
I'll
him,
shoot it.
He's like talking, and then he runs over and sits on the other side, and just like, and then runs back and talks.
I'll shoot.
Cages will probably say,
All of
just
that
take
was
your
in my
script.
head. I was not talking out loud or using
No,
my
no, I know,
freaking
I'm just
hands,
kidding.
guys.
So you're gonna see
Giving
him
him some
like
hand gestures
you're
in
gonna
his
see him like
mind.
do something to the tent and then
It's
pull
like
out
a
his bow.
momentary. It's a momentary hesitation. Basically, is what it is. As all these
It's-
thoughts go through my head.
That
It's
all
like when
happened
you're
within
watching-
6 seconds.
Yeah, it's like when you're watching an anime. You know, it's
Yeah.
like this whole inner dialogue
This
that
whole
takes
inner
20 minutes
dialogue.
to get through.
Exactly.
In real, you know, we all know this happens in like half a second inside our own heads, but we need to be let in.
I will shoot,
Okie dokie.
and here we go.
Please attempt to murder.
Murder's such a bad word. I prefer assassinate. Anyway, here we go. I have
not
12
being paid.
dice to roll.
Correct.
Any
So-
style points? Want to use?
I have 12 dice to roll. Why would I need style points? If this doesn't work, then frick it. I
Stylish,
deserve
like,
to be.
It would be stylish.
Here we go. First roll. 1, 2. God, that's a terrible roll.
Thinking of which, I will actually give you a style point just for grappling with the morality of it.
Okay. Well, I'll use that style point and get one more roll here. One more dice.
In the interest of fairness, because I forgot I could just award these things mid game. Mr. Kane, have one for your endeavors to create water.
Oh, look at that roll! Holy shit! Okay.
That's 5
3,
already
4,
by
5,
itself.
6, 7. 7.
7. He is at -2 health.
Nice.
So the arrow is gonna rip through the tent and it's gonna be the gross sound of bone cracking and arrow entering brain that I'm sure we're all familiar with.
Oh yeah, I heard it just an hour ago.
Yeah. Just imagine gross gore noises.
Great. Did
And
the other guy
you
wake
are
up?
going to hear a death rattle come from him. But the other guy's not going to wake up.
Okay. Same deal.
Oh my god.
Small rip in the tent, and then whoop,
Well, roll to quietly rip the tent again.
Yeah, of course. Thank God for an 8 stealth. Does the inspiration still work or no?
No,
No?
the inspiration was just to get there.
I'm gonna add one more dice to this using my style points. There we go. Oh, roll. Nah, I shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then one more. 8 to stealth.
You are one with the wind.
So I will.
Like you timed like the pulls on the dagger with like the creaking of the chains. It's like eek eek eek.
Great, excellent. I look in this tent, and what do I see?
You look in this tent to see a younger man sitting against the side of his tent, like slumped down sleeping. In this tent, just a bow with a quiver of like 10 arrows
Well,
with nothing else.
I guess we're assassinating. This might.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
Already killed the father, I guess. Might as well kill the younger son. Maybe. I don't know. Here we go.
I mean, you just, you gotta. It's a family thing,
Yeah, keep
1,
it in the family.
2, 3. And then I got more. So 3 and then 4 more. Here we go. 4, 5, 6. 6 damage.
6. He is also immediately thrown into shock and unconscious land.
Okay. How many birds in the trees?
Got him in the lung. There are 3 birds at the present moment.
And are they huge birds that are like, or are they just regular vultures?
They're big boys.
When you have
They're
an 80
so
meter
big
tall
they have
tree
a
as big.
stat block that I've made.
Ooh. Guys, Cages, do you see that stat block on that one? My God.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna
Did you
do.
see the talent attack on that guy?
Go into the other tent, grab the supplies, get out of the tent,
Okay.
and go back to my group.
Okay.
So basically, you guys see me coming closer with, I guess, a backpack full of food, or what is it exactly?
I'm envisioning Maximus coming to me as if he just went shopping and bought too much with like.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like.
And then Cages is like, what is he doing?
So I'll drop these off here and say, I've killed 2 people in those tents. Now all we have to deal with are those birds. See if you can find anything in their possessions that give us an idea of who they are.
Okay.
Now,
I'll start sifting through it, looking for.
What
like,
about
a
the one who's still
journal.
hanging up there?
that's the thing. How do we save him? There's 3 birds up there that look rather huge.
I
Right.
mean,
They're busy
we-
with their food, so maybe if we just bring that one down. However, they brought that thing up in the first place.
we
I'm
could
not
try
They
sure.
to
wouldn't
distract.
notice.
We could try to throw a rock or something. I mean, that's a highway up, but we could try to do something to distract the one. But we might get all 3.
That's the
Or
problem.
maybe there's food. Maybe there's food in the pack, and I start scrounging up.
Yeah,
the
let's
backpack
see
and
what's in the backpack first.
pouring everything up.
In the backpack, there's a whole bunch of dried preserved food.
Yeah.
And there are 2 notes.
Let's see what the notes say.
One of which,
I hand the notes to Kane.
right? One of them is a tidings signed by a mayor of a steading, and it's a short and to the point, formally written letter that says, "We hope you find this tribute well. Please continue to protect us."
Okay. Am I
The
familiar
other-
with the name of the You said they were the mayor of a.
Right.
do
You are not
am I
familiar with the name of the steading.
Okay, steading thing. That's what
Yeah.
the word I was looking for. Okay.
You're not familiar with it.
Grom?
Grum has heard of.
Do you know where it is, Grom?
He doesn't really know.
What's
So
the
I
other
guess I
note
can-
say?
The other note is probably from a significant other, wishing
Ooh.
that they wouldn't do this, and they know what could happen.
Well, she called it,
It's very, very ominous.
but she doesn't. But there's no specifics. Just I wish you
Yeah.
wouldn't do this. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what I figured.
signed by Greeley.
Is there anything else other
Okay.
than supplies? Like, is there any sort of a badge or a journal or
Nothing else that seems personal now.
on the back of the notes? Is there any scribblings or scrawlings of notes or anything that they might have written?
A PS
Since
or something.
since this is
Nothing.
the only a PS, yeah.
Yeah, no
Are there
PSs,
any
just
are there any nude photos of the
GM, give me another hook.
Yeah.
Don't
Give
make
me
me
a
think about it.
reason. Give
Okay.
me a reason to make this perverted.
We will not be able to figure out what this is all
Well,
about
fine.
until
You
we
want it
save the
perverted?
prisoner.
It's lightly
no.
perfumed.
It's what?
Oh, okay.
Lightly perfumed.
Oh, Jesus.
As if a woman wrote it.
Well,
Well,
of
I'm gonna
course
be
a
walking
woman
around
wrote
With
it.
her woman hands.
You just killed 2 people in tents. I'm going to be walking around with a pitch tent all day.
Oh,
It's been years since you smelt a woman.
Oh my God.
You're welcome. You did it. You should not have obliged me,
I-
Taffy.
I'm
No
fine with
regrets. Yeah,
regrets.
no regrets. Hey, I know what works on YouTube. All right, you're welcome.
I don't know
Just
whether
pushing
this is going to drive our subscriber count up or drive it down.
You might want to consider cutting this off.
Yeah. And is it the right type of subscriber?
Oh God.
Substandard
Okay,
Roleplaying.
so
Okay.
By the way, the place is called
So-
Mount Mind.
what place?
What
Sorry.
place?
The
Steading?
steading.
Okay.
It's signed by the mayor of Mount Mind.
Mount
Okay.
Mend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go closer again. I'm gonna like
Do we go
stealth
with you
up
this
there.
time, Maximus?
Sure.
Do we all go?
Maybe the more capable of us can go. The others can stay here. Grom can
read.
stay, and
Everyone turns around and looks at Remy.
Remy can stay. Remy, take care
Hello?
of Grom. Make sure that Grom doesn't leave, basically. And you're good with your knife, and you are good with your hands, I guess. So maybe if the birds come down, you can fight them off. Either way, we will stealth up, and I will shoot.
Stealth up. Okay, guys, and crouch.
I will
And-
adorn my stealth and
Yes.
Yes.
Put on your Legion's green cloak. That's gonna help you out.
It's nighttime.
Yeah.
They can't tell green from black.
Impossible.
I think Cages is more interested in looking for a mechanism to bring the cage down if he can find it.
So we will get closer, basically. Hopefully stealthily. If not, well, I'm gonna shoot as soon as they come after us.
Well, you get there. The 2 people are now thoroughly dead.
Of course.
They're like all oozy and all the openings have opened. All muscles have relaxed. And there are 12 cages in total hanging from this tree. Each chain is staked into the ground at the base of the trunk. So it would be as simple as take out the stake and lower the chain.
Right. The birds, though. There are 3 birds.
They're not interested in you. They don't care.
Okay. Well, in that case, we can call up to the one guy that's alive.
Saying?
No, can we? We can call up to the one guy that's alive, right?
You do have voices, yes.
And there's only one guy.
Yes, only
It's
one
80
survivor.
meters high, though.
8.
8
8.
meters.
Oh, right.
Yeah, just
8
8.
meters high. He can hear us.
Look at
He
that.
sees us now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does he say anything as we approach the tree?
Is he still fighting off the bird?
No, he's not fighting off the bird. But you can see him hanging an arm out of the cage, and his hand is all like crushed and gangrenous and black and gross.
Ooh. Well, Remy will be happy trying to take care of that. Anyway, we will slowly, I guess, lower the cage if there are no consequences.
Yeah, there's no consequences to it.
Okay, unstake, lower the cage.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When he gets
And you
down,
see,
When the DM tells you, no, there's no consequences. You should be
Yes.
careful. All right.
it's fine. You carefully lower the cage, you say,
yes, I carefully lower the cage.
on the thinnest branch of the tree while Cage just stands underneath it, ready to catch the dying man.
Ah,
Who's
Jesus.
dying here now?
So I'll say,
I promise to kill you from day one.
cages, step away.
No,
He
it's
just
nothing
killed
like
my
that.
cage.
So the cage is going to hit the ground.
No, softly lower to the ground. Is what
Fine.
you mean.
The cage is going to daintily, like a feather, touch the ground,
Yes,
kiss
exactly,
it almost,
perfect.
and then embrace the ground.
I'm
With
going to look at
nothing
Cages and be
underneath
like, do you see that? Is it just me that finds that hot? I'm just kidding. I'm just
It's
We
like
look into the
shaking the ground.
cage and say,
While he's
"Who the
moving.
hell are you?"
So it's a young man with close cropped red hair, and he looks delirious out of his mind. And he says, "The eclipse is coming."
What do you know of this eclipse?
He's
They're
delirious.
coming.
Oh, they're coming. Okay. Can you tell it? I'm not familiar. Can you what is this? What are the eclipse?
The eclipse. They're coming.
Water and maybe a little bit of food. Help him drink
Can
some
I-
water and food.
Can I do a empathy check just to see if like he's delirious from something or he's just like delirious because he's crazy?
You don't even need to check. It's probably the only guess you can make now is that it's just his condition. He looks very dehydrated.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say that it's inhuman. It's inhuman to put someone up like this, criminal or not. Even if he was a criminal, it's inhuman to put someone in a cage like this in the middle of the desert. Anyway, so we're going to, for now, free him, have Remy tend to his wounds as best we can, right? Or as best he can. Give him some food and water so that he'll survive, and maybe when he's feeling better, maybe he'll be able to tell us some answers. However, we will bind him so that he doesn't kill one of us in his sleep if this turns out to be the wrong call.
You are an aggressive bunch.
How much water is in these supplies?
Another 3 days of water.
Okay.
They were
That should
stacked up.
Yeah, there should be more than enough.
Mhm.
GM, I'm not sure this is the right place to do this, but I have a scavenge skill.
Okay.
Is that going to be useful to find something additional to their supplies?
Sure. Are you just looking in general for what they do have, or are you aiming for something specific?
Well, actually, I think the scavenge skill it's usually for finding stuff like weapons and because they
Right,
have
right.
a scavenge rating.
Okay, sure. So you can
So
scavenge a little bit.
yeah, I mean, if there's anything to do that with.
Yeah. There is scavengeable things.
Okay, so I'll just make this a bit easier. So I'll just take my average, which is 3+. So this is where I get to demonstrate like because it's a plus, that means you have to roll for the plus, and you see becomes a 4. It becomes a 4. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So a 4 is really good because you do find also a knife, like a small steel knife, It looks like an old chef's knife. You're also going to find a silver chain with a locket on the end. Very cliche. In the young man's tent. And in the older man's tent, you're going to find a smaller pack with some more food in it. With another day's worth of food.
Maximus, how'd you not fucking find this, man?
There's only
Maximus
so much
wasn't-
that I can carry.
I know, it was pretty humorous. I'm not gonna lie.
He just grabbed the big ticket item. He was like, "Oh my god, look what I found!"
Remy is gonna have to administer first aid or health or healing to this guy.
This is correct.
I don't know what his stats are. So, do you know what his stats are? Or
I
do you
have
wanna do this
no
next
idea.
time?
He did put his sheet in.
I think I
Discord.
might have. What did I get this sheet down? I think I had it, but then I deleted
He-
it. But it should
yeah,
be
he's-
still. It should be still in the chat.
It is in the chat, yeah. I just uploaded
Yeah.
mine today.
Yeah,
I
I
forgot to
think
do
it.
it before.
Okay,
Oh, there we
Should
go.
be
It's not
still-
that
I'm
far up.
looking at it right now.
Oh, there.
Let's see.
That's the right. It just didn't have a name.
Okay, so he has a medicine of 9 altogether.
Right.
So we want
So
to
if he makes a
roll
medicine
this.
check, if he makes a medicine check, the number of successes that he gets would increase the healing rate by how many times of successes.
Okay. So who wants to make this check? Someone roll 9 dice.
I can do it. Sure. I'm used to rolling 9 dice.
Hell yeah, brother.
Stupid fruit fly. Here we go.
I don't even
Oh,
have
boy.
fruit.
1, 2, 3.
2, 3.
That's it.
3.
3.
Cool.
So 3 times the normal healing rate,
Yeah, 3 times
is-
the normal healing rate.
which is 3 points of non-lethal per day, or that would be 3
3
divided
lethal
by
per week.
7 divided by 3. It would be
1 every
2
2.
lethal per week.
Yeah.
2.333 lethal per week. I know, and so
Which
forth.
is a good
Oh,
rate.
right, yeah.
And it's
Assuming
going,
he's wounded.
right, it's going
Yeah.
to be that way, and he's only going to survive because Rami will have identified that the hand has got to go because it's infecting his blood.
Ah, yes. That decrepit hand, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
So-
should
That
definitely
was
do that while he's still...
While he's
Out of
still
his
zonked
mind?
out.
Delirious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think he'll feel consciously feel
pain.
less pain.
Hmm.
Because he's not really in his right
So-
mind.
Remy
But then you're-
will do surgery, I guess.
Binding him anyway, but does Remy have any... I'm gonna ask Remy if he doesn't do it automatically. It's like, do you have anything supply wise that might work as like an anesthesia type thing or something that will knock him out?
He had the
We have
hallucinogen.
We have the hallucinogen.
The mushrooms.
Yeah, we have the mushrooms, and we have the nummy mus.
Yeah, so I would suggest him using it. I was gonna say if we didn't, we could knock him out. Like, I hate to say that. Well, no, but honestly, it's probably more humane for him to be under. But whatever Remy thinks is best, then I think he would definitely use the numbing moss.
Well, given that you're not sure,
but he's
that
already kind of
it's-
crazy, so
yeah, like, is that brain damage? Is that the way he is? Would banging his head really help the
I know.
situation?
No, of course not. Yeah, so I'm thinking he would just use numbing moss. That's my guess.
Sure.
Because I mean, again, the mushrooms aren't going to do much more for his
Mhm.
psyche than is already happening by the looks of it. So
Right. Well, he's going to have to only apply the numbing mus to the stump
right.
Right.
because it only works on the surface level. So, are you
We're
going to
gonna
give
cut
him
this
anything
off.
to bite down on, or
Sure.
just go and roll like, "Hey, look, an eagle!" Bang.
I mean, you make a very strong point. I mean,
hmm
do we see an eagle? Oh wait, that's
Well,
distraction.
you
Right,
see
never mind.
the big bird things.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Well, regardless of what happens, he is going to survive the procedure. he is going to scream as his hand is removed, and the crying and the pathetic whimpering will only subside after the numbing moss has been put on.
Okay.
And you're gonna bandage it up, do all the good doctory stuff. I don't know. I've never amputated a hand.
Better stop it from bleeding. That's the first thing.
That's
I
my
think.
assumption. Yeah.
We're gonna make sure that he's not bleeding or the bleeding stops. We're gonna make sure that he's comfortable. We're gonna make sure that he's resting. We're still gonna tie him up just in case. You said it's coming on night, right?
Yeah. By this stage, night would be coming.
I mean, there are tents already set up.
With holes
Well,
in them.
it's-
With
yeah,
holes
exactly.
in them, but still, there are tents set up.
Well, we can use them because like we're still gonna take watch, right? We're not
Yeah.
gonna be silly like them.
But are we camping at the tree or are we camping at where we are resting right now?
See, I think the tree is a big target if anyone does come by.
Right.
It's kind of like if you're in a forested area, you would usually go into the forest a bit, not camp right on the road generally. I think we should
We
go
are on
off.
the road. Aren't we on the
Well,
road?
but that's what I mean. You don't want to be, if you want to try to not be ambushed, you don't want to stay like right on the like right in the main area that people would be traveling, right? So yeah, I think we should go off a bit and do our normal thing. I mean, I'm up to whatever, but
No,
So
I
back
agree.
to the desert. Back to the desert, not on the tree, not on the road.
that's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I'm happy to do some work on the tree to see if I can extract any water or food, but I think we might.
We don't need that stuff right now.
No.
We're full up actually. We might be carrying more than we can actually. We might have more than we can actually carry at this
You're
point.
actually going to have food that's will start perishing.
Right.
You have so much.
So
Which sucks because I read a passage to to find water.
okay.
I wrote one out so I could actually
Eh,
have something to say.
In my desert survival guide book.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, guys, you see on page 14, it says dig a hole.
That's
Okay,
how we've been
I'm gonna
surviving
read it.
thus far.
I'm gonna go back to when we cast it before because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use this again, and I wrote it. So
Yeah.
as I'm sleeping, I remember back to when I cast the music, the water before, and I was so pleased at my reminiscing and remembering of the passage from my studies at my alma mater. Learned from my schoolmate Harry Potter. Let me travel, not be a squatter. Summon to
Yeah.
me some drinking water. There we go.
You know, it is actually, that's quite a cool little role playing thing you're doing. Like, you don't need spells, but it helps you remember.
Yeah. I just wanted to write that
That's
out. So there you go.
fun.
I didn't think about it before because I
Yeah.
wasn't planning on doing it, but I was going to
But
do it again. But
It's quite cool.
Pow
I dig it. It's
points.
very stylish.
yeah,
You
I
get a
like
point
it.
for being stylish.
Yeah. I feel stylish.
Hmm. And I'm also gonna, again in the interest of fairness, but I'm giving Cages an experience point for all of his hard work being the moral compass of the group.
Excellent.
4.
He's really
Well
navigating
deserved.
many types of people here.
He really is. Well deserved.
Cool.
Okay. So set up the tents
Hmm.
in the desert, not too far off from the road, but far off, like not on the road. Maybe even like, again, camouflage it, throw some dirt or some sand on top of the tent so
Yeah.
that if you see it from far away, it's still just sand. Make sure the guy that gets medical attention whenever he needs it. I guess Remy needs to be up quite a lot during the night. And then keep watch as people sleep.
Sure. So you're going to follow similar watch orders before?
Sure.
Okay. So this is going to wake all of you up. Is while it's still dark, so thinking like 4 o'clock in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be a lot of people on horses. Dozens of people on horses riding out to the tree. They're gonna be like loud and raucous.
This is why I didn't want to stay by the tree.
And they're all going to be milling about, laughing, joking, spitting. You do hear a woman screaming.
Oh, damn it.
God damn it.
And
I
you
knew you
hear,
forgot something.
you hear a man shouting really, really loudly. And then they all clear off after about 20 minutes.
We don't
Did we
hear what
he
they were
said?
actually saying?
No. You just hear like roaring noises
Yeah, because we're off a bit.
in a language you don't understand.
Oh. Now, I do have. Let me just double check. I have linguistics. I don't think I would make a difference. Okay.
Well, you can try and geolocate them.
Yeah, sure. I have a so geolinguistic.
That's a skill every role-playing game's been missing until this point.
So I just do a linguistics check to see if I can sense an accent or something.
Sure.
All right. 1. Okay.
No idea. Sounds foreign to you.
Yeah.
Probably
which way did they
German
come?
or something. Really pissed
Which
off.
one? Which one did they come from? The north?
They came from the north.
Guys, it sounds a little northerny to me.
Marcus ignores you.
He just turns back to Maximus and like, remind me again, which direction are we going?
We're going left.
West.
Which is
West?
I'm assuming west.
Which is west. Yeah.
right. Okay.
But I'm more worried about what happened here. I'm gonna go closer to the tree and see exactly what they did. And if indeed there's a woman here.
Roll a buddy check to not throw up.
That's like
Not
3
bad.
dice.
That's not. Oh, that's 3 dice. Lucky you.
2.
You don't hold it in.
How many did I need?
3.
Oh, because
Throw up on what?
do you want to describe this?
Do you
or no?
really want it as graphically as I imagined it?
Just give me the
There.
summarize it.
I'll give
many,
you.
How
you
many
find-
pieces is she in?
You find the remains of a woman. Her limbs are twisted in different directions. And let's say your intestines aren't meant to come out of there.
Oh, you're a sick man, Taffy.
I know.
Man, oh man. And then so that just what's left of her is there. Nothing else new.
Correct. And she's like totally nude. There's nothing else there.
I'm not even gonna make a joke about that. That's awful.
Clothes. Are there any clothes on the ground in other
No
places?
clothes.
No?
No,
No
they've left nothing
identification
behind.
whatsoever then.
Left nothing behind.
God damn it. So
Since we have bodies,
Mhm.
I think there is still one more right thing left to do. Before we
bury
leave.
them?
We have 3 bodies to bury, essentially.
No. We
Basic-
got all those bodies in the tree as well. If you want to do a good job.
If
of
you
this.
want to bring those down, sure. I think that would be much better on the conscience.
I'm just gonna make note. I'm all completely in agreement, but if we want to spend any time here, I mean, assume we're going to be leaving now. But if we do that, they may very well notice that the cages are no longer
Right.
there.
That's
we
the
are gonna
other
draw
thing that I was going to mention. They would
Yeah, we're
know
gonna draw
that someone
attention
was
to the fact-
here.
Sorry, this
I
fruit
was
fly-
confused by the fact that they didn't bring. I mean, like they didn't seem surprised by the 2 bodies that we left there. Like they weren't even looking, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, it really brings it into question what those 2 people were doing here.
Yeah, I don't think those 2 people were related to this band of horsemen.
Yeah, like I would have thought maybe they were, that was their watch for the night type thing, and they would rotate out. But yeah, unless they took note of them, yeah, it's that's interesting. So really, Maximus killed innocents, is what we're saying.
Maximus is dealing with that right now.
No, I know,
he's
I know.
still like.
I still
doesn't
think there
know.
was something.
And
I still think there was something going on that was not innocent because I mean, hell, they were sleeping under while people were up there getting killed by birds, and all it took was undoing the chain. So there's still something not right with them.
They call them. I mean, the note it's mentioned about tributes, and I'm guessing the people in the cages are tributes from
Yeah,
wherever they came from, and these people are probably just there to make
using
sure
this
that
as
their
a
tributes are being paid.
yeah,
So I
or
think
this
that
big
to be
group
fair,
could just be a dumping ground too. But
yeah, to be fair, I guess we can't really do much for the people in the cages, and it will be suspicious if the tributes are not there where they should be.
so we should
yeah.
dig.
We should bury the 3 bodies that
Right.
are on the ground, but leave the ones on the cages.
Well,
just
not
because
only
they have to be
that,
there.
yeah, because not only that, if it is a tribute and we get rid of it, they may have to replace those tributes.
Exactly. Yeah, and they may get that town into more trouble. Like they've already
Yeah.
paid it, and then
We
somehow they have to pay
could.
it again.
Well, in that case, then we could raise the cage again, but with one of the other dead bodies that we have.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speculation, but and the other
If
thing
you
is
think
if they disappear and they think, oh, it worked, the god or whoever they're paying tribute to took them, that just means they might do it again more too. So yeah, I think we want to try to leave it as untouched as possible.
the 2 bodies that we have, the old guy and the young guy, you can put. I don't think I have real objections of putting them into the cages as tribute, but at least the woman we should bury.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean yeah, because they did that one most recently. Like they killed her. They will know when they come back that they expect her to be there or parts of her to be there. If
I
she's
think
in the cage,
I think the birds are gonna like see to
yeah,
that.
they probably will. But yeah, like I think the other two we can put them up in the cage. I think that would make sense. And it's terrible what's happening, but we don't really know the ins and outs. And perhaps after we hit our destination on the way back, maybe we can then look into it and investigate a little bit more. Feels very side questy.
Yeah, so let's do that. Let's put the 2 people I killed in the cage and raise it. Let's bury as much of the woman as we can. And then let's leave.
Okie dokie.
Taking our patient with us so that maybe
Right.
he can also, like, when he regains his mind, hopefully, he can tell us exactly what happened here. But,
That's a good point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When he
you could
becomes
use
lucid.
the extra day of rest.
right.
So the road to the north specifically, or the east as well, but specifically north because that's where they went. If I look down the road,
Mhm.
like, does it basically just go to the horizon, or can I see? Yeah,
Essentially
okay.
goes to the horizon. It
Okay.
does that in the north and east directions.
Okay.
But going to the west, you can actually see the outlines of civilization.
Okay. Well, that's good. At least we can see where we're going.
We can see the outlines of civilization, but these
can.
marauders can still do this here, right? Like, close enough to be within sight of.
Well, it's probably like still miles
we're-
away.
Like it
Yeah,
is
we
like
are at the
kilometers.
edge of
You're like on the
civilization.
edge of like human vision.
Okay.
can
Again,
see
we
it.
can we can probably see. It's like when you're in a Etobicoke and you look across the lake and you can kind of
And
see
I
the
don't
city.
I don't think a lot of people want to mess around with like what? How many horsemen were there? 20? Dozens?
Dozens, like 36.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
this feels
that's an
very much.
army.
Yeah, this feels very much like if you're in Vegas, gangsters dump bodies in the desert, but you don't go out there to stop them. It's kind of, it feels like it's kind of something like that. Like, this is probably known to people.
Yeah.
But no one wants to step up and try to do anything because what are you going to do? That's my guess. It's a mafia.
Oh my!
Let's
So-
keep
mafia.
moving then. There's nothing else we
Yeah.
can do here.
So
I
your
don't
patient
think
is
so.
still very PTSD'd and not the most lucid human on the earth.
Not surprising
got-
since we cut off
You've
his
got
hand.
names. You do have names out of him though.
Mm-hmm.
His
Okay.
name is Rurdik,
Rudick, okay.
and the old man was Sordal, and the younger, his son was Pagraf.
So does he know who they
Ooh.
were, or he's not that lucid yet?
He's not that lucid.
Does anyone here? You're a survivalist. Would you be? You might be the best one. What can we tell about the tree? Like, it's just massive tree in the middle of nowhere. Why is it the only vegetation around? Like, can we determine anything from it?
Before we leave, I guess I could make a roll.
And then what I'd like to do is, while we're investigating it, while he's focusing on that, I want to kind of just walk around to the other side and using an inconspicuous cantation, I'm going to see if I can sense magic. I'm going to see if I can sense any pull from the tree. So I'm going to kind of like put my hand on it and just kind of, again, I'm going to kind of do it inconspicuously, kind of reciting something about bark and wood, and then giggling to myself in my head. And then I'm going to attempt to see if I can sense any magic on it. And I'm going to do that with 3 dice.
One success for me for seeing
One
why the
success
hell
for you.
is a tree out here in the middle of the
Yeah.
desert.
One success for me, and I'm going to prevent 1 burn damage.
Well, I am sending you messages to tell you what you discover.
Sure.
Aegis would just be busy digging holes.
Yeah.
Seems like he's getting very good at this after a while.
This is a new talent of his.
A
Hole
new
digging.
skill that you've put points in.
Could be a specialization, actually.
Probably could be.
Barely 10 a.m. and I'm 2.2 liters down for the day.
My dude.
So
Hydration
I'll
is
be right back. I
first.
gotta pee. No, I'm just kidding.
first you see Maximus's face kind of pale over as he realizes one of the reasons why the tree is so big and so like thriving in this environment is because the soil is really fertile
That's what I was afraid of.
from bodies
Yeah.
decomposing. So they must have done this so much.
That's
so
what I
often.
was afraid of. Yeah. Okay.
So this tree is literally living on our the death of humans, and
This has been happening a long time.
he also said, Maximus also says there might be water underneath this tree. It's definitely, I can't see any possible way that this tree can survive without there being a well underneath it.
Yeah, I mean because the organic fertilizer would go to the growth and the size, but ultimately, yeah, you probably still would need a significant amount of moisture for this sort of a tree to grow over this much time. I finished walking around the tree, just kind of like rubbing my chest a little bit.
Just as Mufasa taught us. The grass grows, the deer eat the grass, we eat the deer, we die, we become the grass. It's a circle of life.
With all
After
due Kay just says, with all due respect, even though this is a potential source of water, but I much prefer having sandy water
yeah,
rather than water dripping from blood.
Maximus nods and says, this whole affair disgusts me. I think we should leave as soon as possible after we
I'm right there.
bury
Right there with you.
her.
I agree. Do you want to bury her near the tree? Or do you want
No,
to
I
bury
think we
her
should take
elsewhere?
her away from here. I don't think she would want to be buried. I think she'd rather be buried nameless in the desert than underneath this tree.
I agree.
So we'll take. Did we blankets? We must have blankets of some kind, right?
There were bedrolls in the tent.
Right. So we'll use one of the bedrolls
you can use
and
those.
as respectfully as possible, cover her with
Yeah.
it so we can carry her further into the desert, and then we will bury her body somewhere and then move west towards
Sure
the
thing.
settlements.
You'll find like a nice cactus or something. Cool. And heading off to the west, we will end the session at the end of the day. ready for the final day of travel next week.
Okay, cool. So we're still traveling towards the settlement. We haven't reached there
Yeah,
yet.
but you're now making much better time with the daylight hours that you do have.
Okay. Cool. All right. So
Cool.
if you guys have been watching the playthrough or the the gameplay, the actual play, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Go check out these guys as well. Casey at Questing GM and Dave at A Taurus Twitch stream. Cool. We will see you later. Bye-bye.